Before you do anything, click the like button on this video. Click it now. Bird, can you get that pen for me?
Yeah. You usually do that at the end, but I can't find it.
I didn't mean to cause all this.
Oh my God. It's halfway under the table.
Oh, God. He just hit me in the leg. There we go. All right. Good job.
Things I do for this podcast.
Thanks, buddy. Welcome to the show, everybody.
Yeah.
Hey now. We are back with a brand new edition, and I gotta say, a lot of stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
Off the top, you got Kash, Patel. You got I'm not gonna preview. Let's just get straight into it, shall we? First of all, how's your day?
It was great, but let me just say one thing. I wish I was named Kash. What a badass name!
It really is.
It's like a gangsta name.
And he's got merch where it's like it's spelled Kash, but the S is a $sign.
Yeah, see, man, that's just
Yeah.
great. My day, it's a day.
Just a day.
Yeah, I've been dog sitting this week, and it's been interesting.
Sitting with your dog.
No, just real dogs.
Oh, real dogs. Okay.
A Vizsla, which is like a hound kind of thing, really nice, and then a Brady Bunch kind of dog, just a stupid, sweet old stupid poodle kind of mix.
I didn't know if it was an angry Shakespeare thing or something, like sitting with the dogs.
Oh,
dog
no.
sitting.
No, no, that's not. Hey, I'm going to tell you something. You don't. Guess what? I got a gig, and guess where it is?
Where?
I'll give you a hint. Here be gosh and be gory.
It's in Ireland.
Yeah,
No.
Ireland.
No,
Scotland.
No. Steve Perry had a big hit with this.
Hotel California.
No. I will love, hold on. Now.
Okay, how about O'Sherry's?
Yes.
Oh,
thank you,
yeah, we're part of that too.
I know it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. And guess who I was able to get?
Who?
Johnny O'Carroll, my cousin. He's gonna be performing.
So yeah, we haven't announced this on the podcast yet,
Oh,
but now's
crap.
No, it's okay because we were going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
So O'Sherry Pub coming up March 15th. That's on a Saturday. It's rare that we get to do an event on a Saturday. So make plans. If you watch this podcast, we want to see you there. This is the very first over-the-line event. And I call it an event. I mean, it's
man.
an appearance.
He did up great last year.
You got Johnny O'Carroll on the tunes, and he's going to be wearing his kilt and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
You know what we should do? Because last time you dressed as Johnny O'Carroll, we did the Tins unit. We should do that live on stage at O'Sherry.
You know what? Hell yes. Let's do it.
See, somebody texted you and told you to go ahead and do that. You think we should
Do
do
it.
that for real? Wouldn't that be funny?
What? As long as Dr. Dingaling doesn't show up, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't want to get examined by Dr. Dingaling.
I do. I'll have to find it. I forget where it's at. But yeah, that would be great. That would be a great idea.
All right. But you know what? If someone will bring me $50, I'll put the Tins unit on my scrotum and my wee willy winker.
Well, actually, we could charge people to come and turn the knob.
Oh, hell no. Everybody would be doing 5.
I mean, what do you? We'll say $15. You can come turn the knob for 5 seconds.
Well, I mean, I won't have to worry about getting sterilized from electricity because I've been clipped.
That's right.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
That's right.
Shock me for 15.
So O'Sherry Pub, that's in Moody, Alabama. You can look them up at O'Sherry.com. Is it O'SherryPub.com, right?
I think it's O'Sherry Pub.
O'SherryPub.com.
And you know what? They need to get like a hotel or whatever if they're from far away because this is going to be an event. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, if you have to come from out of town and you want to stay the night, there's a Days Inn not far down the road. There's also, I think there's a Motel 8. That one's a little seedy.
What's better than a 6? It's 2 better than a 6.
Actually, yeah, that's a good point. Or maybe it is a 6. Is 6 the blue one or the yellow one? 6 is the blue one.
I get so confused with all the different motel names, and they're all like
I
owned
couldn't
by the
afford a
same
Motel
people.
6 anyway.
Well, I mean, if you're going to a pub and you get drunk, I don't guess it really matters
just a
as long
bed.
as they're, there can be gunfire, but just don't have bed bugs.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
I did
Just don't play the lowest price, or you end up with like bed bugs or something weird.
We did a whole thing on bed bugs today.
Gross.
Like 2 segments on the show. I saw a video of a guy, and I wish I still had it. He would go to a hotel, and he would get the iron out of the cabinet.
Oh, God.
And he would heat it up, and he would go to the corner of the bed and just heat it up with that iron. And apparently the heat causes bed bugs to come up out of the bed.
Oh, God.
And so he sat there and did it for a minute, and then he pulled the sheet up, and there was probably like 500 bed bugs, little baby bugs. And he said, all right, let's do it again. Puts the sheet back on, starts ironing again, pulls the sheet back up, twice as many bed bugs. I mean, there was just a ton of them.
I got bed bugs one time. My ex-wife and I. We went to visit my best friend who was in radio, and we were going to get a hotel. He said, "No, just stay. My youngest son is Keegan's got a room, upstairs, and he doesn't, he comes and stays like once a month or whatever."
Yeah.
I said, "Well, okay." I woke up in the middle of the night, body on fire.
No.
We were eated up with them, and you've got to tell them. You've got to say, hey,
you got bed bugs, cousin?
Hey, take a shower for an hour.
That's gross.
Yeah.
That's so gross. Radio people, I tell you.
Never.
You don't spend the night with radio people. It's a bad idea.
It is.
It is a real bad idea. Although you did it once at my house.
No, it was great.
You were on the couch,
That
right?
was the exception. Oh, man, that couch slept so good.
Did you like that?
I wanted George Floyd to come lay up there with him, but he didn't.
No, he's. I got to get him some CBD treats because he's just
wait a minute.
screaming
If we've
bloody
got
murder.
if we've got some newer folks subscribing to the podcast, maybe we need to say who George Floyd is.
George
Not
Floyd
the
is
George Floyd.
is my cat, and yes, he's black.
Yes, but he's not the George Floyd.
He's not the George Floyd.
No.
That cat's not a drug addict either. No,
He's
That's
not.
correct. He's clean. He does not use
he passed
fent
the test.
or I actually drug test him on a regular basis
Never be too careful.
just to make sure. What else is new? Anything?
Kash Patel, that's what's new.
Kash Patel. Hey, let's start right here. So, news organizations at different government offices will have their own office, and they will, if they've been established for a while, they'll allow them to kind of post up in an office and do their reporting and talk to officials and blah, blah, blah. CNN in particular has an office at the Pentagon. And when I say has an office, I meant had an office because today Pete Hegseth kicked CNN out of the Pentagon, and their office was left with a bunch of trash, just like the news organization is trash.
Oh, snap.
That's where CNN was.
That's
up
a
until
beautiful
today.
sight right there.
He straight kicked them out,
my
dude.
God.
Look how nasty that place is, though, that office.
I hope they get bed bugs wherever they go to.
Yeah, there's bed bugs definitely in that office.
Man.
Anyway, I thought that was a beautiful sight.
Yes.
We needed to check that out. Over at the White House, though, they held a presser. Donald Trump held the presser, and he announced several things, different people for different positions. He had Leo Terrell, as apparently he's working in the Civil Rights Division of the DOJ. He appointed, what was the one lady's name that was in prison for like 40 years on a drug charge from back in the day? She was in a Aliceville, Alabama prison, federal prison. Her name was it Alice Johnson? Was that her name?
Was this the one that Kim Kardashian?
Yes, same one.
Yeah, okay.
And Donald Trump pardoned her during his first term. Well, he has appointed her the new pardon czar. So she's going to be tasked with finding people that have been railroaded by the justice system to then bring it to Donald Trump so he can pardon them.
I love that, man.
Isn't that awesome?
That's so badass.
It's like he's taking victims out of each department and then putting them in the head of that place.
Yes, it's great. I think you should throw some J6ers in the Department of Justice, like Put them on the D.C. court.
Yep.
Make them judges. Put a Jay Sixer as a D.C.
You
judge.
need to put like Jacob Chansley in charge of that D.C. gulag wherever those people went to.
Yeah, the warden. Jacob Chansley can be the warden of
Yeah,
the
and
D.C.
let him wear the shaman gear when he shows up.
Yeah. At one point during that White House press thing that Donald Trump was doing, he was introducing people, such as the ones we're talking about, but other guests that were there. And he ends up. Tiger Woods was there as well. He ends up acknowledging the CEO of Pfizer, who happened to be there as well.
Oh.
And I want you to listen to what happened when he did that.
Very good to us. Jay, thank you very much. Appreciate it very much. We also have the head of Pfizer here, so I want to thank him. One of the great people, one of the great businessmen. Thank you, Albert. Thank you.
Look
He
at
did
his
that
face.
deliberately.
Thank you very much.
He's laughing.
Thank you very much. I want to congratulate.
So then he goes on.
Oh.
He thought that was hilarious. Now, granted, he probably is friends or at least acquaintances with the Pfizer CEO, and as president, you
But he
kind of
knew
got
what
to talk to these
he
people.
knew what he was doing.
But he thought it was funny. He's like, "Oh, that's good. That's good." And then also CPAC is going on this week, which is the big conservative, convention. Which, how much fun would that be if we went to that?
Oh my gosh.
Elon Musk was there, and also Javier Milei, the badass president of Argentina. That goes around with the chainsaw saying he's slashing bureaucracy and all that kind
Total
of stuff.
badass, yeah.
Dude's a wild man. He looks like a wild man. He's got those chops, those
Yes,
crazy.
some chops.
He looks like he almost looks like a homeless Beatle. Like he would have been playing with the Beatles, and that he got kicked out of the band early on and lived on the street.
He and Pete Best.
But he's one of the best world leaders out there right now. So Elon Musk is on stage. Javier Milei apparently brought a gift for him, and this is what happened.
Yeah.
He said, "Ah."
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy. Chainsaw!
He's like a kid, man. He's loving it.
He is, man.
All right. I love it. Mr. President, thank you so much. All right. Thank you.
That's such good stuff.
Yeah, he's got a early 70s thing going,
Yeah,
man.
doesn't he?
With the hair and then those chops. He's looking good, man.
Yeah, I like how Elon Musk, when he first picks it up, he does like the sound effect of the chainsaw. Yeah, back it up just a little bit to play that part. Yeah, right about there.
Thank you. The chainsaw for bureaucracy.
Oh, that's good. That's so
man.
good. I love Elon Musk. I don't know how you cannot love Elon Musk. He's just so good. And the AI that's been coming out when it comes to Elon Musk and Donald Trump, which we've gotten in trouble for AI before, okay? I understand that. And I'm going to take my chances on this one, but I have to share it.
Roll the dice.
We're going to roll the dice. This is the latest, and this is piggybacking off of Chuck Schumer, obviously, who's complaining about Elon Musk cutting spending. But this is the video of the day.
Of course there's some wasteful spending, but you don't use a meat axe and cut everything.
Okay. Okay. Oh, that's too good. That's too
my
good.
God.
They should have played the part when they said, lick my ass.
Fuck on my balls.
America.
America. I actually had, when I watched that this morning, I was getting ready for the show, and I had that song stuck in my head the rest of the day. Oh my God, we need that. I need
America.
that. I see. I suggested on the show, I think yesterday or the day before, that Freebird should be our second national anthem, like our backup national anthem. that one maybe needs to be third. But like, it's not for children. We got to have a not for children.
Yeah, we'll have a
national
little
anthem.
E with a gray box
Yeah,
around it.
explicit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea. Which, by the way, that all came about because America put a whooping on Canada in the hockey.
Gosh.
And they play again tonight. I don't know is that the series? Like, is this the finale?
That may be the championship because I'm pretty sure they said that the USA was in the finals.
Well, I made some picks on underdog for this game because they had a no sweat.
I just hope the United States wins because after what happened and all the smack we talked.
Yeah.
Well, they were booing it. They started it.
Yeah, they booed our national anthem.
What happened to them being nice?
I think they're going to, 5 seconds in, there's a fight immediately. I think it's going to happen
Yeah,
again.
I think they had that one match. There was 3 fights within the first 9 seconds of playtime.
And the U.S. won them all.
Yeah, that's right. Throw the gloves down, baby. You don't boo our national anthem. Sometimes I feel like, I don't know what I feel like.
You've been tied to the whipping post?
Maybe. I don't know what I feel like, but here's a cartoon. You want to watch a cartoon?
Yeah.
I was trying to find a segue for this, but I don't know how to go. This is about waste, government waste, and it is a real life. Well, it's not real life, but it is an accurate portrayal, illustration of what's been going on in the White House as of late.
Elon, you have no right to take away Social Security benefits from millions of Americans over 120 years old. That's right. It's a constitutional crisis. That's right, Maxine. It's a threat to our democracy.
Chuck, there is clearly evidence of fraud happening in Social Security. How else do you explain the checks going to people 140 years old? Who are these people supposed to be, vampires?
Not exactly. But the answer is actually much simpler than fraud. You see, there are things in this world, dead things, many of them relying heavily on disability checks.
Chuck, if dead people are receiving disability checks, that's fraud.
Let's just say because someone is dead, that doesn't mean they're no longer eligible for Social Security.
Are you guys trying to say they're ghosts receiving benefits?
It's the only logical explanation besides fraud, which is clearly unlikely.
Can you prove it to me?
Yes, we can. Meet us at the Congressional Cemetery tonight at midnight. Maybe once you meet someone who depends on Social Security checks, you'll change your mind about cutting them off. Go ahead, Elizabeth. Right. Stopping fraud in Social Security is somehow anti-democracy. Who dares disturb my gay kissing? Oh, it's you. Where the hell is my Social Security check? I have bills to pay, you know. I'm working on it, Benjamin. You see, Elon, without Social Security payments, homosexual ghosts like Benjamin Martin can't afford to eat.
Wait a minute.
You're stopping my benefits because you think it's impossible to be 130? I'm 287 years old. You must be an idiot. Thank God I have highly ethical geniuses like Elizabeth Warren and Chuck Schumer to watch my back, or who knows what else you do.
Oh God! No, wait a minute. Is that the guy that does one of the guys that does South Park?
I don't know, but it sure seems that way.
Wow, it's that. And
It
the
sounded
voice.
just like Kyle's Kyle's cousin that comes to visit. He's got that voice. It's,
Yeah.
My sweater's all, kind of thing.
Are you saying that's a Jewish voice?
I didn't say
Not
that.
that there's
but-
anything wrong with that.
Wasn't Kyle Jewish?
Yeah, Kyle's Jewish, and his cousin that came was Jewish as well.
I'm just asking if that was a Jewish impression, what you did.
Well, I was trying to be like Kyle's little brother, and
Sure you
he
were.
complained about everything. It was always too cold or too hot.
Benjamin Netanyahu is coming after you.
And Tony's canceled.
And it's gone.
And it's gone. What else? I'm moving at rapid pace here. We're trying to get a lot of information into this episode. I played a couple clips of Jasmine Crockett
Ooh.
on the radio show today. One was about how rural America was going to learn a lesson from all this cutting and everything else, and planes are going to fall out of the sky and rural hospitals are going to disappear. And the other one was, and that was coming from, I think they were asking her maybe about the approval rating, or no, that was on The View. She's been on a lot of stuff lately. But Donald Trump has said that what they want to do is they want to take 20% of what Doge saves and give it back to the American people in the form of something like $5,000 checks for taxpayers. And so they asked Jasmine Crockett about it, and she said, no, they're lying. They ain't going to give us $5,000 checks. And plus, we don't have the money. What's $5,000 going to do for anybody anyway? Saying that $5,000. And this is a crazy strategy for Democrats, saying that $5,000 doesn't help anybody, and that she's speaking of Congress, we don't have any money anyway. And it's like, well, if we don't have money, well, then you got to be for the cutting of the waste, right? So you can then have money. So I play those, and then this afternoon I see a new one. And it is her talking about the poor people in the South that voted for Donald Trump, how they're going to be suffering from Doge and the money that's being cut.
Like she cares.
Listen to this. This is amazing.
But the problem is that we have a president that is adversarial to states that don't vote for him. And so what some of these people fail to realize, down in Alabama, who's broke, down in Louisiana, who's broke. I can go through pretty much the entire South and tell you that they're broke, and they rely on
Racist.
a lot of welfare from the government. To be perfectly honest, it is tax dollars from these big blue states like New York. Yeah, they send a lot of money into taxes, and then broke states end up benefiting from it, and now they're about to find out. So we're in the find out phase, and you've got, the other senator from Alabama, she decided to weigh in as well because the largest employer is University of Alabama, and guess what? They decided that they were going to cut all the research dollars. So research takes place at universities. So now you're going to have people in your already broke state that don't have jobs. The recession is coming. I told you here first.
Oh, yeah. I'm just,
Let's save that.
She's going to be the one to predict the recession.
And let's see what she says when she turns out to be wrong, like all of them are. All the time. They're constantly wrong about this.
Yeah, and blue states, don't forget. Blue states are the ones that fund states like ours.
Yeah, well, California, thank God for California.
Thank God for New York
Followed
and California.
closely by New York. Let's throw Chicago in there.
We would never survive without cities like New York and Chicago.
If it weren't for those big cities, we almost didn't survive this last election. I mean, that's where all the blue votes are.
That's right. That's right. Anyway, the big story today. I had to get through all that to get to this. Kash Patel.
Kash, what a great name. So gangster.
And the reason Kash Patel is so important is multiple things. One, he's going to reform the FBI, get the FBI back on track, get rid of the bureaucracy, get rid of the scumbags, the deep state. We hope that's what he does, and I feel like he probably will. But the other thing, the one everybody's patiently waiting on, is the Epstein files.
Yeah.
The black book. And normally we would get these big, tall promises of some sort of groundbreaking thing such as that from this person or that person, and it would never come to fruition, not necessarily because they didn't want to do it, but it gets marred up in that bureaucracy. It gets marred up by people in the deep state that are fighting back against it to keep it from coming out. But, I mean, with Kash Patel, I mean, he's the head honcho of the FBI now. He can pretty much do what he wants to do. And he has made this promise time and time again.
Well, the Epstein Black Book, like on day one.
On day one, roll out the Black Book.
So will you work with me on this issue so we know who worked with Jeffrey Epstein in building these sex trafficking rings?
Absolutely, Senator. Child sex trafficking has no place in the United States of America, and I will do everything, if confirmed as FBI director, to make sure the American public knows the full weight of what happened in the past.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. Boy, imagine that, how fun that podcast is going to be. We got the actual list. And just a few days ago, I said this, I relayed this on the show because I just happened to come across it. Glenn Beck said, and if I'm not mistaken, this is from 9 days ago on the PBD podcast. He said, well, I'm not going to tell you. This isn't, again, 9 days ago, Glenn Beck said this.
The only thing I care about is the scandal of the pedophiles, and in the next 10 days, you're going to see the Epstein file released.
In the next 10 days?
Next 10 days.
Oh, please. You think in the next 10 days the whole thing's going to be released?
Yeah.
And what kind of information do you have to be able to be that certain about it?
I plead the fifth.
In the next 10 days?
The next 10 days.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Next 10 days.
You're teasing millions who want that list.
Day number one, Kash Patel walks in. By the end of the day, it will be released.
Oh, please.
Did Kash Patel get confirmed yet?
Not yet. They
Not
delayed
yet.
it.
Did RFK get confirmed yet?
Not yet.
Tulsi?
None of them, though.
House, not Senate. Yeah.
So as soon as he's confirmed, his first day, it will be released.
Oh, I can't wait.
Oh man, I gotta look at Twitter. It may have come out as we're doing this.
Man.
Well, don't forget he's got to get sworn in first and all that stuff, so it's going to take a few hours.
Oh,
But
yeah, that's
he
true.
could release it tonight. He'll have that power.
He couldn't do Diddy's list, right? Because they're right in the middle of.
I'm not so sure about the Diddy list, but I know that there's nothing against the law to release the Epstein list.
Right.
Pam Bondi made that very clear.
Yeah. And what about JFK, man? I'm dying. Well, that's not good words. I really want to know.
I already know they got the information to Trump. It's just a matter of Trump putting it out there. He says he's going to, but they've already the days are up as far as how much time they had to get the files ready.
Fascinating.
This is just mind blowing.
It's just crazy. Like we've waited for this for so long. It's hard to believe that it's here.
My Christmas morning will not stop. It's like Groundhog Day for Christmas morning for me.
Doesn't it feel like Donald Trump's been president for like 6 or 8 months?
Yeah, it does.
And today is the 1 month mark.
But he's done 6 to 8 months worth of work in that 1 month.
Yeah, he's done 4 years worth of work at this point
right.
compared to somebody like Joe Biden.
Yeah, and I got to say, just from what I've been reading and watching certain people, I think Donald and Elon and them know a whole bunch of stuff that they're not telling us, and they're purposely releasing the news out in short spurts because it'll be more effective later on versus dumping it all at one time, because they know a lot we don't know about yet, and it's going to come heavy pretty soon.
Absolutely.
It makes sense.
So, it's just it's almost difficult to keep up with.
Yeah.
In my current business of radio, there's obviously a lot more freedom here on the podcast as far as kind of what direction you want to go. I got to keep it more structured, but I still get a lot of information crammed into the radio show, don't you think?
Yes.
It's just not easy.
Always have, man.
But it's fun. It's not easy, but it's fun.
I don't think anybody's got it easy right now, to be honest with you.
I was calling Pete Buttigieg Pete Booty Juice yesterday. I kept saying it over and over. I mean, and then I had a caller today say shit on the phone call, and we had to dump it.
Did they get it dumped properly?
Yeah. I'll have you know, remember the issues that we had where it kept going through?
Oh, yeah.
Well, the delay was cut off, so there was no dump button for probably months and months and months, and it was going out over the air.
I think somebody dropped an F-bomb at one point.
Yeah. Oh, we put an F-bomb on there one day.
Well, when you... No, I know. When you do your...
Well, when I told AJ in particular, and he's like, "No, man, I hit the dump button." I'm like, "No, you don't understand. Like, people are telling me they heard that word." He's like, "Oh yeah, they're listening on the app." No, they're not listening on the app. They heard it in their car
man, you
on
get
the
to turn
radio.
that off and reset and double check.
Yeah, I didn't know you could cut the delay off.
Wasn't the F-bomb put out for that Pearl Jam song, Jeremy? Is that the one that happened? It was a song, I think.
Oh, was it? I remember we put
That's
out.
not the only one.
We did an F word when we were doing the show from here one day. And
oh yeah,
it
I do
was,
remember that.
An F the patriarchy protest is what he said, and it went out. Oops. AJ dumped it, but again, the dump wasn't working at that point.
Oh,
oops.
Tony's technically put an F word out on the radio.
Man, Tony.
Well, the dump button should have worked.
That's street cred right there.
Well, if someone is doing...
Well, I didn't specifically say it. It just came through the computers here.
Right. It was a sound clip.
Yeah.
It was a sound clip.
Which the sound clip you got ready for me, so,
That's true. I didn't check it all the way. But we don't promote cursing. We don't promote violence. We don't promote any of those things.
No. A little bit of blue humor and the occasional swear word.
Yes. And
that's America.
Very juvenile Beavis and Butthead humor.
We're here to promote freedom.
13,
that's it.
13.
Speaking of violence, I keep seeing, like, my algorithm is so wild. It's a mixture of cooking videos from all over the world and Romanian fights. Apparently in Romania, I think this happens in, like, Russia and stuff. They do these UFC-style fights, and they have such a diverse selection of what types of fights they do. They'll do normal one-on-one fights, but then they started getting into this world of like 2-on-1 fights.
Wrestling.
Or 5-on-2 people, and it's wild. So this one right here in particular, these are 2 professional fighters in the red and black.
Lord.
On the other side, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is that 9?
Looks like 9, yeah.
9 amateur fighters. People that aren't fighters. Oh, that sort of knocks them out. Like these 2 professional fighters, but it's okay because we're going to have 8 other people with you. And then they go in there and they get their ass kicked.
We'll give you 12 rubles.
And here's another one. Okay, so this one is... make that small real quick so I can read the caption on it. This is...
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Says 3 Instagram and OnlyFans models fight 2 men during an MMA event in Romania.
Oh, no.
The fight was put on by Real Extreme Fighting, and to no one's surprise, was won by the 2 male fighters. After the fight, one of the 2 females took to social media to brag about her performance, telling people not to underestimate women. The difference is, she says, I stayed standing, don't underestimate women anymore, and I don't denigrate them just because you're men. RXF is receiving backlash as internet users fume that the fight was allowed to take place. All right, so...
There should have been 9 girls.
You got 1 guy against... Or does it say 2 guys? 2 guys against 3 OnlyFans models?
It should be 1 guy.
I mean, normally, you know.
Yeah. Normally that would be a dream.
Right. Well, OnlyFans models.
How much should they pay?
They're usually wrestling around with other men, but this is a little different. This is a sanctioned fight. So check this out.
Băieții, sunteți pregătiți? Luptați!
Oh, no.
Eu zic că e de apreciat.
Oh!
Pauză. Decizia aparține cu
No way.
Too emotional. That's why we can't do this. They're too emotional. She couldn't even compose herself after the fight. She's mad she lost, and she tried to go after him again.
I'm surprised her lips didn't explode. That one model in the middle, you know that's not real.
But here's the moral of the story, with that fight in particular. It should shut this whole trans in sports issue down. Because no matter the numbers, the men are superior in certain situations, such as fighting. Or such as in the case of the Canadian plane that crash landed upside down. Superior in piloting, because that was an all-female crew.
Andrew.
I'm just saying, if you run the numbers, you need at least 1 male. Because they were bragging about how they are the one unmanned flight that's up in the skies.
Oh, God.
What about that Black Hawk pilot? That was oh wait, that was female.
Yeah. Well, no. Well, look, I've got the opposite. Last night, I watched a documentary on the University of North Carolina women's soccer team. They have 24 national championships.
Oh, I thought you were going to say 24 trans people.
No.
Which would translate to 24 national championships.
But, I mean, and they say it's the greatest sports dynasty of all time.
Even better than Tennessee women's basketball?
Yes.
Wow.
24. And they coach by a man. No, but I mean, he got to understand getting the most out of them. But yeah, they were coached by a man. But still.
No, but see, my high school boys soccer team would beat up on that woman's soccer team for sure.
Not 1993. I'll take you down.
No, high school students took out the USA Olympic team in soccer. They beat them like 11-0 or 11-1 or whatever it was.
I think if you are going to be trans and you're going to play sports, you are required to go through the transitional surgery. I think that should be a requirement.
Oh, yeah, total chop off.
Chop off Willie. Do the whole thing and show you're committed to it. Because if you play sports, you got to be committed to your teammates. You got to be committed to your craft.
You're right. Well, what they need to do is they need to drop trowel and go out there and let the refs and judges see. Do you have a wee Willie Winker? You're out of here.
The refs cut it off.
That would be a pay-per-view.
That should be the punishment.
Have you seen, like, somebody explain how that whole process works going from male to female?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying let's watch it, but I'm saying like there's this trans dude on TikTok that talks about, that explains how the whole thing works, but uses food as a substitute for the name of the parts. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
Like cake pops and a candy cane type of deal. Yeah, this is him right here.
Oh,
this is
God, you've got the video.
Yeah. Again, it's not showing the procedure.
Right.
It's just a trans person explaining how that whole thing goes down.
I got my cake pops removed, but now it's time to turn my candy cane into a donut. After the cane is done, I will stay in the hospital for about a week. And while I'm there, they will pack my freshly made donut with napkins. This will ensure that everything sets in place and the donut doesn't close in on itself. After about a week, they will remove the napkin and send me home with instructions to dilate. Dilating serves the same purpose as the napkin, making sure that the donut doesn't close in on itself. Just instead of using the napkins, you use a plastic candy cane or dilator that you place inside of the donut for 20 minutes 3 times a day. And as you heal, your donut will become more resilient and you will increase the size of your dilator until eventually you're ready for the big one. You only have to dilate a couple times a week. That being said, a lot of people don't want to dilate. It's understandable. The good news is that you can get a zero-depth donut, one that looks the exact same but doesn't require dilation. There are certain things that you can't do with a zero-depth donut, but that trade-off is worth it to some people. Personally, I am down to dilate because I am sick and tired of my candy cane, and I'm going into 2026 with a donut.
Okay.
Okay, you know, he didn't really go into a lot of detail.
I told you.
Let me tell you what happens. They take
Remember
your wee willy winker.
Okay.
You know how you peel a banana? They
Yes.
slice it and they turn it inside out. There, I said it. Oh my God! I don't know why I know that. It was like the late '90s for some reason.
Is that really what they do?
Yeah.
And then they
create a donut.
Put your candy cane in your donut to make a escape hatch.
Yeah, basically turn it inside out.
And how do you pee?
Probably through a tube at that point. I don't know.
Catheter.
I mean, I'm not a. I mean, we can ask Dr. Dingaling. He may know because you know.
Do we want to Google it?
Chicks only. No.
Okay.
You know,
We're not gonna Google
whenever that happens, things go south.
We won't Google it, and we definitely won't click the images tab.
No. Oh gosh.
No way.
No.
I don't know.
Man,
This is what our world's become.
Speaking of Googling, can we jump forward, Tony? Tony went to Grok, which is the AI version of AI for Twitter, for X. And apparently it works just the same as whatever we were using last time, which was ChatGPT.
Right.
And he was asking questions about the show. So if, just for example, if we typed in... what do you think? Describe the Over the Line podcast or something?
Yeah. With Andrew McLean.
Describe the Over the Line podcast with Andrew McLean.
Yeah. I guess that might help.
I mean, describe is something they do with a donut and candy cane. And let's see what it gives us. Searching. Over the Line is a podcast hosted by Andrew McLean, known for its bold, unfiltered take on current events, politics, and culture topics. Wow, I like the start of this.
Yeah.
It says, launched in 2018. How does it know this? The show carries a tagline that sets the tone. If your feelings are fragile, you're not going to like this podcast. It's designed for listeners who appreciate raw, straightforward commentary without much regard for political correctness. McLean, who also hosts The Line on Talk 99.5 in Birmingham, brings a similar energy to the podcast, blending humor, skepticism, and a conversational style that feels like a lively barroom debate. The podcast covers a wide range of subjects. News commentary dominates, but it also dips into philosophy, comedy, and even medicine on occasion. Episodes vary in length, typically running between 45 minutes to over an hour, and feature McClain solo or with guests like Trish or Birmingham radio personality John Bird.
Oh, God.
The content is explicit, often irreverent, and doesn't shy away from controversial or gritty topics, from political scandals to quirky tangents like dumb ways to die. It's updated frequently, sometimes daily or bi-weekly, keeping pace with the news cycle. Listeners describe it as fun, informative, and entertaining, though not without criticism. Some find the subject matter or McClain's approach too abrasive, especially when he involves his young son in discussions. With over 440 episodes as early as 2025, it's built a loyal audience, rated 4.9 out of 5 on, what does that say?
Apple Podcast.
Apple Podcast, from 49 reviews, that enjoys its mix of sharp insights and offbeat charm. Think of it as a no-holds-bar riff on the world, delivered by a guy who's watched the news, cracked a beer, and decided to let loose. That's pretty good. Well, that's actually really cool. That's very important. This is way better than ChatGPT.
Yeah. Well, do this, Tony, if you would. Put in the demise of Over the Line with Andrew McClain and see what it says.
Or the demise of John Bird in Birmingham Radio.
God. Yeah.
The demise of John Bird in Birmingham Radio. That's a radiology. Let's see.
It doesn't have anything.
It seems there might be some confusion in your question. Hold on. Based on the available information, there's no widely documented demise of a John Bird specifically tied to Birmingham Radio in the sense of a dramatic end or death directly impacting the scene. However, I'll assume you're asking about John Bird, often known as John Bird, a Birmingham, Alabama-born musician and occasional radio personality who has appeared in the broader context of Birmingham's media landscape, including as a guest on shows like Andrew McClain's Over the Line podcast. If you mean a different John Bird or a specific event, please clarify. John Bird is a country musician and songwriter born in Birmingham.
That's somebody I've dealt with.
Oh, do you know that person?
Yeah, he's a country artist.
Is he a bad guy? Like, what's?
No, he's not a bad guy, and I'm sure he's probably not watching. So I don't really like his. He's not very talented.
You don't like
if
him?
you ask me.
What was the one you did earlier, Tony? With something about the guest?
Yeah, like who has been on the podcast?
Who is on the Over the Line podcast?
Yeah.
I can't believe how knowledgeable this thing is.
But do you notice he didn't say anything about your son nicknamed P. Diddy?
Yeah, they kept that out.
Yeah, they
didn't
kept
want to
that
put that
out.
up there.
That's smart.
The Over the Line podcast with Andrew McClain has featured a variety of guests in its over 440 episodes, reflecting its electric mix of news, commentary, and offbeat discussions. While a comprehensive list of every guest isn't available in a single source, here's a rundown of notable individuals and types of guests based on episode descriptions and related content. John Bird, a frequent collaborator. Bird is a Birmingham radio personality and musician who's appeared multiple times. He's been on for everything from medical advice segments, referred to as Dr. Bird, to post-departure reflections about his radio career. His appearance often brings a local flavor and musical angle. Trish, often co-hosting with McClain. Trish joins for discussions that veer from serious issues to tangents like dumb ways to die. Her reoccurring presence suggests she's a key part of the podcast dynamic, adding a conversational counterpoint. She does a conversational counterpoint because she makes sure I stay in line.
Yeah.
But it's weird because it's acting like these people are on all the time. Tony Gump from Vapor Forge. He's popped up for specific interviews, like one in early 2023, blending niche business talk with McClain's casual style. Wonder if that was your interview that we did.
It could have been, yeah. I mean,
By the way, back when we were in the old studio and I did an interview with Tony Gump, it went for like 2.5 hours. Tony had a whole notebook of stuff, and we didn't even get through half of it.
Yeah, when we were done, I went home. I'm like, man, I forgot to say like everything, you know.
Caleb Dillard, A guest who
Caleb.
shared his firsthand account of being at the Capitol on January 6th, offering a
Nice.
personal perspective on a major news event. Jim Moore, Jimmy D Big Time, dropped by the studio for a session, though specifics about him are vague, likely a local figure or a friend of the show. Abby McClain, possibly a relative, given the last name. She's appeared in studio episodes, adding a familial or personal touch.
When is she coming back?
I don't know.
It'd be fun.
You have to ask her. Michael Hart, author of America, It's Little Oddities from the Greatest Nation. He guested in January 2025 to discuss his book, tying into the podcast interest in quirky Americana.
Oh,
And David Lynham, featured in a January 2025 episode, though his background isn't detailed, could be a local personality or someone tied to a specific topic McClain explored. It says that the guest list leans towards a mix of Birmingham area figures, radio colleagues, and individuals with unique stories or expertise. McClain also occasionally brings in everyday folks like Homeless Mike or Big John for man stuff. That sounds gay. Man stuff talks, keeping it grounded and relatable. The podcast informational nature means guests often emerge organically from McClain's network or current events rather than a structured lineup of big names. If you're after someone specific, I could dig deeper into episodes or titles and blah, 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 blah. So that's fascinating.
Scary.
Do we want to ask it anything specific about Patel or Trump or anything political?
Say, how big is Kash Patel's dick
I knew
right
it.
now?
I just knew it. I just naturally knew it. But I would say
Not that I want to know. I'm just it's a proverbial.
I would say penis.
Yeah.
It would probably be more likely to.
It's a metaphor. It's not like actually we want to know what it is. I'm just saying.
How
you're
about since Big Balls is trending, maybe how
yeah, go put balls. Don't put penis.
Yeah, because that's a little,
How big is Kash Patel's balls?
little better. Let's see.
Do Indian people have big balls?
Where is this going? My gosh.
Let's see what it says. It's giving us. It seems that there might be a typo or misunderstanding in your question. Do you mean Kash Patel's balls? I assume you're asking about Kash Patel, a public figure in a playful or metaphoric sense, perhaps referring to his boldness or guts rather than a literal measurement, which obviously isn't documented anywhere. If that's the case, here's a tongue-in-cheek take based on what. Dang, this thing's good, dude.
Yeah.
Kash Patel, Donald Trump's pick to lead the FBI as late of 2024, has a reputation for brash, loyal operative who's unafraid to take on the establishment. His balls, in the figurative sense, his audacity could be described as pretty sizable. He's called for dismantling the FBI's headquarters, turning it into the Sean Ryan Show in September 2024. He's also penned kids' books pushing Trump's narrative and threatened to go after the media and government conspirators on Steve Bannon's War Room podcast in 23. That takes some serious metaphorical chutzpah, let's say, bigger than a bread box, but not quite wrecking ball territory. Oh, man, Gronk is the best. I can't believe I've never used this.
We should have him on the show.
Who, Gronk?
Yeah, just have Gronk on the show.
All right, let's do one more because we got to get out of here. What's another good one? Let's do something about the show. Put who is Dr. Dingling? No. I don't think that's gonna work. Just type in what is Angry Shakespeare.
Okay,
that's a good one.
Yeah, there's a lot out there between radio and podcast.
What is Angry Shakespeare?
Is that how you spell it? Yeah.
Yes. It says, it seems there might be some confusion. Most likely, Angry Shakespeare could be a casual or creative way to refer to the intense, rage-filled moments in William Shakespeare's works. Okay, that didn't work out. What about, let's do one last one.
How long will it take Donald Trump to defeat the globalists?
Yeah, do
something like that.
Is Donald Trump the greatest president of all time?
Or we could say, who killed Kennedy?
Or we could say,
what if it?
Well, that would be good. What if it did tell us?
Well, Elon's in charge of Twitter. So.
But also, who killed JFK? with two question marks. All right, let's tackle these two big questions with a mix of facts, perspective, and a dash of skepticism. Is Donald Trump the greatest president of all time? This is a subjective call, and people's answers hinge on what they value in a leader. Trump fans, plenty of whom are vocal on X, point to his first term and argue he's top tier. The highlight of the economy pre-COVID, unemployment hit a 50-year low and 3.5% in February of 2020. The stock market soared. Dow jumped from 19,000 to over 31,000. And tax cuts in 2017 put cash back in the pockets of the American people. His America First stance, blah, 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 blah. Critics, though, say, nobody cares what the critics say. Yeah. Historically, ratings like C-SPAN 2021 survey put Trump as 41st above only Pierce, Andrew Johnson, and Buchanan. Lincoln, Washington, and FDR consistently top the list. So they're saying he's 41st out of 47.
That's according to C-SPAN's tax-paying money funded.
Exactly.
Thing.
And who killed JFK? November 22nd, 1963. His assassination in Dallas is the mother of all mysteries. The official story per the Warren Commission is Lee Harvey Oswald, lone gunman, fired 3 shots from the Texas school book depository with a
rifle.
With a rifle, 1 miss, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Oh, look, it's got the lone nut theory's been shredded by doubters for decades. The House Select Committee on Assassinations concluded that JFK was probably assassinated as a result of a conspiracy. Interesting. Man, this grok stuff, come on, man. What a great invention that was. And the fact that it knows so much about us.
I'm sure to do a great job writing our obituaries.
Yes.
I'm back off the wagon. I have jumped off the wagon.
Well, if I ever get into politics and people ask me about that, at least I'll have somewhere to write my speeches. We don't have time to get into this, but let's ask Grok. So today in Arizona, they were doing this big whodunit about Barack Obama's birth certificate, and they claim that it's not real, like that they've got the evidence. So is Barack Obama's birth certificate fake? And let's see what happens. You can take one of those R's out too. I think he's he's a 1R fella.
Yeah, I bet he is.
He's a 1D fella. Question of whether his birth certificate's fake has been the topic of debate. Obama released a short form birth certificate in 2008 during his campaign, which is started a document, blah, 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 blah. Skeptics, often called birthers, have claimed inconsistencies such as alleged irregularities in documents. PDF lawyers, when viewed digitally, or questions about whether or not the birth notice in a 1961 Honolulu newspaper could have been fabricated.
Oh.
Could it theoretically be a grand conspiracy involving forged documents, complicit officials, and planted records from 1961? Sure, anything's possible in the realm of imagination, but there's no hard evidence. Zero that holds up under scrutiny. And if we had time, we would show you some hard evidence, but we don't. And instead, we're going to have to do final words. So, John Bird, if you will, think about it for a moment. I don't have to let Tony Gump think about it because he knows. He knows his final words because he comes from the heart. Tony Gump, go ahead.
I never know my final words until I say them, but...
That's a lie. That's a bald-faced lie. He's already got it.
But I'm looking forward to the Epstein files very badly. I want to see people like Tom Hanks and other people.
Yeah.
I want to see the list. I'm looking forward to what comes next. I think it's going to be interesting when they go with Doge to the Federal Reserve. I think that's going to be a groundbreaking thing, and I'm looking forward to the gold in Fort Knox and whether it's all there or it's not.
To the moon, baby!
And get plenty of water, meat, sunlight, and sleep.
John Bird?
The show today has really got me thinking with AI. There is a way that I think we can positively do it. When the list comes out and Tom Hanks is on it, and Tom Cruise and John Travolta and all these people, maybe will be able to use AI, like for instance with Forrest Gump. I love that movie, but Keanu Reeves. That's a suggestion. We could put him in all those movies, all the Tom Cruise movies and all that. Just superimpose him. I think that will be a way to go.
Or, we can AI in like an actual retarded person to play Forrest Gump instead of Tom Hanks.
Oh, no.
Why?
No.
Why not?
You're missing the whole point.
Just want Keanu. You just want John Wick to play it.
Exactly.
Keanu is a badass, yeah.
Yeah, he is. And you know what? He sticks to... he has a moral compass that he sticks to. So, folks, you need to make sure that you stick to your moral compass, that you don't waver left or right. I'm not talking about conservative. I'm not talking about liberal. I'm talking about focus.
As long as your compass doesn't lead you into a handicap sign or a parked car.
This is true. This is true. And my inner compass has been compromised. It was compromised years ago, not from morals, but just stupidity. I admit it. I'm an idiot savant. So idiot savants, unite. I had trouble peeing 2 nights ago. It was, I'm dog sitting, so the dogs are like on each side of me, so I'm like this, and wasn't sleeping very well, so I go to the bathroom, and I had to pee. So, have you ever had that happen? Have you ever had that happen? You've got to pee so bad that you can't go. That reminds, well, no, we'll talk about that another time, but make sure that you're peeing, you're getting those toxins out of your body, and I hope all your parts are working well, and we'll do our part. Oh God, I don't know where they come from. I mean, they're just woo. Andrew, back to you.
And until next time, circus.